I'm not going to spend too much time on life insurance. It is somewhat self-explanatory. We're looking specifically for life and disability insurance. This box serves two purposes. One is for property division, but one is also for security for support, topic for another day. What I would just want to, for the purpose of filling out the form, what you would get if you die or if you become disabled, that goes under face amount. So if you were going to get $100,000, you put it here. Okay, you don't put it here. You don't do that.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
What the term cash surrender value has a real meaning in the insurance world, and it refers to those policies that you own that you can actually cash out. Okay, so term insurance. So let's say, again, I'm just going to do Manulife. They should pay me a commission. Term 20, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, got that. Me, let's say my spouse. Okay, and then you can actually write NA. Sometimes I put in nil. There's no value. Something like that. Okay, you don't necessarily have to write NA for marriage, but you can for completeness. Now, if you have Manulife whole life policy, right? That may actually have a value. So that, much of this may be the same. Okay, do you see I'm doing exactly the same? But there might actually be a cash value, $505. Okay, so by the way, I would recommend, I didn't do it here, but you should do it down to the penny.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's funny. Certainly when we're talking about values of cars and stuff, you don't go down to a penny. But for bank accounts, because we can, and it's very easy, you would be putting the values. Okay. Again, we're filling out the form. We are going to come back just to conclude later about documentation, because really it's all about the documentation. And you can even say here. Now, in order to get a value of a whole life policy, you should just talk to your broker. They can contact the insurance company. It's actually pretty easy. Okay, and you might have statements with it. Okay, business interests is a huge topic that we're going to condense to 1 minute. Okay, so the biggest question is, what do you do if you are self-employed and you don't have a corporation? You're just, and the answer is you could just say that. Just say my name, I'll write disclosure clinic. Right? And my interest is 100%, and say I am a sole proprietor.
Right. That's what I was going to put in there.
Okay, so let's get the spelling right. Okay. Now, does a sole proprietorship have inherent value onto itself? Is a very good question. Okay, it's a question for another day. Okay, but now watch, and I spelled clinic wrong. Okay, so now watch when I do the same thing, Inc., right?
Yeah.
So you can do that and say 100%. This is an incorporated.
I see. Okay.
Company. Okay, you can write that. That's fine. Okay. Now, putting a value on a corporation is its own question, right? And there are a number of factors that I'm not going to go into, but if you have certainly an incorporated company, you need to talk to a lawyer. Okay, you just need to. Okay, because the corporation itself, consider it like a bubble. In some sense, it's within that bubble is a whole other financial statement of assets and debts.
Oh, Okay.
Okay, and there can be value more than just the bank accounts and less the debts. So a sole proprietor, for example, may have a business account, right?
Right.
Now, that business account technically can be up here, or it could be down here. Doesn't really much matter as long as it's reflected,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
The real question is whether there's other value to the sole proprietorship in addition to the bank accounts and the debt accounts. Okay, so many people, when they're filling this out for the very first time, will just write TBD,
Oh.
TBD, TBD. In other words, don't put a value,
Mm.
right? If it existed on date of marriage, that's okay. You can do that.
Mm.
Now, you can do that for the entire financial statement, but I could tell you that they'll have no value, right? But when it comes specifically with a business interest, you have to be careful about it. It may very well require opinion evidence from a certified business valuator, which could cost a lot of money. So you want to talk to the lawyer first. Okay, it really depends on the nature of your business and what you do with your business.
Oh, okay. Right.
Under money owed to you, you know, the one that usually that people forget to or don't think about is the income tax return refunds.
Oh,
Okay.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, which could be substantial. It really depends when you separate relative to the last payment to tax or from CRA. That's something to think about. Okay. Otherwise, money owed to you is referring to debts, right? So under other property, you know, there was a moment in time when credit card points was all the rage, right? And they do technically have value. Whether or not they have substantial value enough to put on this form is really a good question. But you know, I look at my clients' credit card statements,
Right.
and I look at their points.
Yeah. That's right.
And if you recall from earlier from the video, I said that I had a client who had the pigeons, the racing pigeons. And we put right there. Okay, fine.